So you guys might be wondering why this video is delayed. Well, thanks YouTube. Hello, and welcome to SpaceEngine Exploration. Sorry for the echo. I am in a new room. I have a room that I can record in. And I can record in 1080p now. Hooray! So, what that means is I should hopefully be a little bit more active on this channel now that I have my living situation figured out. However, I got a very echoey room with a lot of reverb. It's kind of empty in here. I even tried putting up some of those little acoustic foam tiles on the walls, but that didn't really do shit. So, yeah. I'm just gonna try to talk a little bit more quieter and kick up the gain on the microphone a little bit to compensate for this, to hopefully reduce the echo and reverb in this room. But there's a few things I'm gonna do a little bit differently today. For one, I am recording in 1080p. As for when I'll be able to upload this video, it might only be a 30 FPS video because I don't exactly have a stable internet connection at the moment, and uploading a 4 GB file is not the easiest thing in the world. So yeah. But I am recording in 1080p, and in regards to me missing suggestions all the time, what I'm using is the new YouTube Studio beta, and I'm going to see just how well that works for these videos. The comments section looks okay. Like, I even got one held for review here. It's not showing that comment. Okay, I am flat out lying right now. This is already going downhill. So I'm going to give this a try, and hopefully I do see all the suggestions for this video. Anyways, we're going to start with the suggestion from the Super Odin. Let's go ahead and paste this in. And here we go. It is a cool gas giant. Okay. What is to note about this? The 8th and 10th planets don't give me a link to a planet and tell me to go to other planets. There got a fantastic amount of moons. One of 8th planet moons has life. Okay. Let's bring this up. Okay, so this is the 8th planet. This is one with life. If we go ahead and click on, I think he said 10th? 10th. You can see that it has a total amount of moons 59. This one has 42, but one of them has life. So we'll go ahead and check this out. Let's go ahead and bring up this graph here and head here. So this has life, but it's marine life, so it's not going to be visible to us in the game because life is normally supported by, or visibility, like, life is normally visibly supported via a texture in the game, and not really like, yeah, you just can't see it. It would be cool if there was like small models and stuff for life and rocks and all sorts of stuff like that, but I don't see that really appearing in the game for a good while, if ever, if that's even like a planned feature for the game. I know for games like No Man's Sky, that's like an expected sort of thing, but this, not so much. I know SpaceEngine is supposed to be licensed out as like a game engine and stuff, so, or that's like the intended purpose of it, but I'm not too sure. Anyway, we do have some really good erosion leading down into the shoreline here. It actually looks like a decent coastline, which the game usually has a hard time generating things like this. But I guess since it's like a Terra world, it's got like the erosion in the mountains, which is what like all these cracks and stuff are. Or I guess dips in the terrain, that's just where water erodes the terrain down and makes its own natural paths and stuff. And it leads down into the ocean very well, so it looks like a shoreline, which is pretty cool. And we got some large beaches and stuff over here. This is very neat. For a planet that doesn't really have much going on in the way of detail and texture, or yeah, texture and stuff, and colors. And then here's like a huge beach-like area, I guess you could say. Not like ocean cliffs around here. That looks so weird. You can see like the blocks of, yeah. It's doing that thing where it like fades in to make it look better as you're flying down, but it's totally not working properly and it's doing some weird stuff here. It has been a good bit since I played this game in 1080p. This looks so nice. And we got a mountain range over here. Let's go and check this out. And I assume this is going to have a very Earth-like sunset, since it does have an Earth-like atmosphere, at least in appearance. The primary composition is CO2, carbon dioxide. So this is probably a very early on in its life planet. The atmosphere, secondary composition is oxygen. And then we have sulfur dioxide, I believe that is, if I'm correct. So yeah, this looks like a very early stage planet. In fact, we could view the age of the planet right here. So it seems early on in like developing life, I guess you could say. And I don't think, yeah, it doesn't have nitrogen as a primary composition here. Yeah, in fact, it doesn't even say there's nitrogen in the atmosphere at all. So the life that develops here is probably going to be very different from what Earth is like. Got like some deserty sand dunes here. Well, this looks pretty cool. And a volcano here that's all bugged out and weird looking. Well, this is pretty neat. Let's go ahead and zoom out here and actually, where is the gas giant in relation to this? Oh, there it is. Oh, we got like a comet and stuff. We didn't even look up at the sky. Can't even see the comet now. It's just a little dot there. There's our host planet. And if we fly up high enough, you see the comet slowly fade in. You'd be able to see that in the nighttime sky, possibly. Well, apart from the fact now you wouldn't be able to see that because the nighttime sky obviously does not persist where the sun is at, which is what that's orbiting around. I assume that's not actually a comet. I assume that's a small planet burning away around the sun, which kind of supports the theory that this is kind of a young solar system for what it is. Anyways, what else do we have here in the way of suggestions? We got one from Subsets Gaming. They want me to visit Wise at 08, 55, and other numbers. That is not supposed to be there. Okay. 714. I'm not seeing the ID value for what you suggested. I see 44 here, if that's what you wanted me to visit. I do not see 14, which this is a brown dwarf. With some awesome auroras. Let's go ahead and make time move a little bit more so we can just watch these move around and stuff. Very cool. We can't see the gas giant itself or the brown dwarf, I guess you could say. We do have this cool atmosphere though. As you fly closer into it, you can see the Milky Way fading away as we fly into this atmosphere. What is the temperature of this brown dwarf? It is negative 25 degrees Celsius. So it's very cold, but I'm sure there's a lot going on the inside of this massive beast. Just trying to get it up against a lighter background so we can see it a little bit better. Let's go ahead and kick up the ambient lighting so we can see the details on this brown dwarf. Well, that didn't do much in the way of really showing much. But you can see all these crazy storms on it, like all these giant storms like you would see on Jupiter. Like there's one there, there. That's wild. I like that ominous look. Even with the max ambient lighting, like it just still looks very ominous, and it's just sitting here in the middle of space. Does it have anything orbiting around it? Oh, it does. So it has its own planets. Let's go ahead and default this. I mean, we're not going to be able to see these, but let's fly over them anyway. You see the brown dwarf over there. So it's just a very dark system. Can't even really visualize it. but it's here. Let's go ahead and kick that ambient lighting back up. And as you can see, yeah, in comparison, that is a very dark object over there. What's all this? Is this planet half frozen? I assume it's a giant ice world, but it looks like almost like a tidally locked planet because it's like half ice. Like that. You see how it's lighter? Don't know what's up with that. But that's apparently a thing. Anyways, very cool system. Oh man, this is so nice playing this game in 1080p again. This looks so much better than how I was playing it previously, which was 720p, which is garbage. Anyways, let's go and move on to the next suggestion. Is that version 0.9.9.0? Mary Hale says, no, it is not. Is it in fact 0.9.8.0, the current public version available? I don't have access to 9.9.0. I know a few other YouTubers and people who paid into or donated to the project have received it and dedicated forum members and stuff. But fortunately, I'm not on that list. Yeah. I mean, do I deserve to be? Yeah, I don't see why I would. But I'm hoping to get access to whatever version they release publicly soon, because there's been news about it. There's always promising news every couple months. And yeah, they keep pushing it out a little bit further and a little bit further, but hopefully it's for the good and it comes out as a very good release of the next version of the game. But I know some people get confused by my video settings and stuff, so I'm just going to go ahead and show them here. If you want to make your game look like how I play it, these are my video settings. These are like the diffraction spikes I use. I use a little bit of bloom. I got motion blur enabled, so it kind of gives the illusion of 9.9.0, I guess, because I have like a lot of shading effects and stuff enabled, and so you get that kind of get that appearance that it's 9.9.0, but it's not. I know 9.9.0 has a lot more going on. And here is a black hole in the center of Centauri. Anyways, let's go ahead and move on to the next suggestion. Oh, that is weird. I'm not used to this new version of Studio. I might switch back to the old one again, but it's probably better I get used to the new one. I just don't like that everything's all quote-unquote modern and bubbly and takes up a lot of useless space. I would like to just have a lot more information dense UI, I guess, like the older Studio, even though this one has like some cooler features and stuff. It's mainly the UI, not really the fact that it has more or less features that kind of bothers me here. Anyways, rambling. Okay, this is from Necronium, spelled with 3. More planets with ridiculous amounts of moons. Coordinates are ID. 254 moons, including at least 6 very large moons, and a dense disk of moonlets. One of the miniature versions of... Okay, so one is a miniature version of the gas giant. Okay, so this is like its own little... not star system, but kind of like its own little star system. As you can see, we got planets and stuff. We got a little debris asteroid belt, or protoplanetary disk. If we bring up the thingy, we can see that we have this. A desert that's kind of Venusian-like, yet very hot, with a ring. I meant to say this. It's a mini counterpart, I guess you could say. It's probably the same exact compositions. Probably formed out of that right there. It just formed a little bit further away, possibly due to a collision, nasty collision. Projected some of the mass and it formed a moon, kind of like our moon around Earth, or it could have just naturally formed this way through super early development of the system. Let's go back to that Venusian planet. It is a hot desert with a very large ring and an atmosphere kind of like Venus. If we turn off the atmosphere, we can see that it is a blue planet. Or I guess a cloud layer, I mean. Turn off the atmosphere, we can see that it is a brown planet, but the atmosphere makes it bluish. Let's touch down right here. So I assume this is our smaller moon. Gonna fly around here, we can start to see along the horizon the main gas giant. Possibly? Ah, there it is. So yeah, there's the main gas giant. You can barely see it in the sky when you're on the ground though, but it is there. But, of course, you would not be able to see it at all. We're in a very thick atmosphere, and thick atmospheres also have clouds, so now we can't see anything. It's kind of like being on the surface of Venus, but much more blue and stuff. And you can see that there's 3 different cloud layers here. That's usually done to just make it look much more dense, even in like these holes and patchy areas. So there you go. So the total moon count for this planet is 254. Not all of them are visible here. A lot of them are small asteroids and stuff, which are not going to be visible on this chart. I guess this would technically be considered an asteroid moon, wouldn't it? It's called Ice World. What's the size of this? Oh, very small. 518 kilometers. This one is 468 in diameter. So yeah, we do have some pretty small asteroid-like, or I guess dwarf planet-like moons here. And what galaxy is this in? A randomly generated one. Okay. So very cool. Let me go ahead and click read more. Regarding the bugged white dwarf suggestion I made for you a while ago, I don't know why it was like that for you, but perhaps it was either fixed in your version or it was an error in my game. I'm gonna guess an error in your game, but that guess is purely based on the idea that my game bugs out a ton and does weird things. And I have no explanation why. Bad cache? Who knows? But let's go ahead and move on to the next suggestion. This one is from Corsair Plays. Here's a couple of suggestions. Another ringed moon with the Fornax dwarf. 2 planets in the system have a larger diameter than their parent star. Excuse me? Is it like a white dwarf? Well, the system's not working. So I guess I gotta skip that suggestion. Let's go ahead and grab the second suggestion here. Okay, so the second one is Terra with life in the smallest spiral galaxy I have seen in the game so far. This one did work. So let's go over to this yellow dwarf. I thought it was a Terra with life. Well, here it is, this sun-like star. And this is the temperate Terra I assume they were talking about. Okay, this is very colorful and nice looking. So it's apparently a very small galaxy. Oh, it's an asteroid. I thought that was a nebula for a second. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and touch down on this very vibrant looking planet. Okay. Got like that pine tree kind of mountainous looking terrain texture. I feel it's a little bit backwards though. I feel like the trees should be on the hillsides. A little bit of cliff face showing. Trees up there, you know. This should be, yeah, like trees here. Then like some gravelly terrain here, running down. I don't know. I guess that's kind of correct. Let's turn up the quality ever so slightly. Let's just get that landscape level of detail up to like a 0.5. So we ain't dealing with so much texture pop. Yeah, that's a bit nicer. We've got the rings up in the sky, looking beautiful. Yeah, it's just very colorful and tons of life. And there is the parenting star. The temperature of this planet is 2.2 degrees Celsius as the average surface temperature, We got a composition of CO2, oxygen, and nitrogen, nitrogen being the third on the list, when on Earth it is the first. Then it's oxygen, then CO2. So we got a little bit of a different atmospheric composition than Earth, but for the most part, very similar. Percentage and balance-wise, I imagine it's completely different. This has a lot of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, though, making the greenhouse effect 3.6 degrees Celsius. With 1.38 atmospheres of pressure. But if we sit here, like right about here, standing here, this is the exact same atmospheric pressure as Earth up on this very tall mountain. But very cool nonetheless. Okay, so what's it? Okay, this is the smallest spiral galaxy you've seen in this game so far. Wow, that is kind of small. Like, yeah, that is very small. Now, the Milky Way is a very big galaxy for what it is. In fact, it's possibly, I don't know, there's debate of whether it's like bigger than even Andromeda and stuff. It's very hard to observe since we're not sitting in the Milky Way. But if we go to the Milky Way and do that same zoom out we just did there, for comparison, this is what it's like zooming out in the Milky Way. So much more distance to actually see the outer galaxy there. And the stars, I mean, they're not further apart, but as you can see, there's just a much bigger volume than the galaxy we're just at. If I go back to that planet, and we'll just do this zoom out once more. Like, I don't know what that was really meant to show, but that's just kind of perspective there. So there you go, a very, very tiny galaxy. And if you want to visit this, the ID is always in the top left corner. Anyways, let's move on to the next suggestion, also from Corsair Plays, since that first one didn't work. Yes, this is the third suggestion, but it's well worth the search. Let's go ahead and paste this in. And here we go. Okay. Sitting in a regular galaxy with a purple planet here. Oh yeah, this is, oh wow, that's a lot of galaxies. Okay, so we got an orange star there, red dwarf. Very cool looking. We're sitting on the outer edge of the galaxy though, so we don't really see that many stars, I guess you could say. Oh, is that a second star? Yeah, it's an orange dwarf, so we're in a binary system with this blue planet here, or a purple planet, I guess you could say. Let's see. Wow, this is very contrast. Just making sure I have all my things enabled. Oh, that's how you turn on real planet brightness. Turn it off. Okay. So we got Zerg life forms here, but they're not very bright this time. They're, in fact, very dark. Oh wow, that looks blue. Doesn't even look purple once you get up close to it. Turning on. Oh wow, yeah, that's very purple looking, or blue looking, I mean. Interesting. So it's like a purple atmosphere, but it's making this blue life. Which is just interesting that there's blue life, that's rare in the game. Look purple. Very cool. I don't know if there's anything specific you want me to view on this planet. But let's see, the planet itself has an orbital period of 35 days. Well, okay, wow. So, every Earth month, this thing basically swings around its parenting star, but I guess it makes sense, it is a red dwarf, so this planet's probably much closer and orbiting much faster. Probably being pelted with tons and tons of radiation from that red dwarf. Has a temperature of negative 14 degrees Celsius. So a very cold planet. Well, in reference to Earth. The atmospheric composition is carbon dioxide and oxygen. Now, I'm not seeing any water. Well, yeah, there's water right there. What I'm not seeing is polar caps of any kind. Okay, so we do have snow on this planet. Let's go ahead and touch down right here. And you can see that we have some snowy cliff faces and volcanoes and stuff. Did I say cliff faces? I mean mountaintops, but I'm not actually seeing snow on the mountaintops at all. Mainly just on the volcanoes, which tells me there's something funky with the atmospheric pressure. So only high altitudes get snow, which is kind of the case here at the polar cap, where everything just magically gets taller, everything's colder, and we got a nice large polar cap on the planet. Now, there's a possibility that this might be snowy mountains, but if I'm going to guess, it's probably just a desert. Yeah, it's just a desert, so yeah, I'm not really seeing much in the way of like snowy mountains and stuff like that. So, snow and ice only seems to develop at higher up in the higher atmosphere, and the atmospheric pressure of this planet is 0.5, so half the atmospheric pressure of Earth, and that's possibly the influence for that. Even though I would think something under higher pressure would be less likely to develop ice, I don't know. But that's the way the game has interpreted this planet. Let's put a touchdown next to this volcano here. Wait, is that snow? Oh wait, I think we have snow. It's kind of shiny like snow. This looks like snow. That or it's sand, and I'm just being bamboozled. Can't really tell. And this is supposed to be lava, supposedly. Oh, it's all like dried up, so it's all ashy. Okay. But it's very vibrant, very cool looking planet. Let's go ahead and look up at the sky and see what we spot. No other stars in the sky. Because the stars are very far away apart because we are on the outer edge of this galaxy. So they're very far and few between. Few and far between? That's what I meant to say. Oh, we're also in a galactic collision, it looks like, which is not surprising since there's just so many galaxies here that everything's kind of colliding with. Anyways, let's go ahead and move on to the next suggestion, which is from, let's see. Actually, I'm going to read off some comments here. Spider Dogmutt says, wow, your videos are looking good. I'm going to get this game when I get my laptop. I've been saving for about 2 years. And then I mentioned the laptop I have. I have an ROG Strix Hero Edition Asus laptop with a 1050 Ti, an i5-8300H, 16 gigs of RAM, which I upgraded. It came with a 128 gig NVMe SSD, but I threw a 512 gig SATA SSD in, which is still PCI or M.2 based, but just SATA speeds. And it came with a 1 terabyte SSHD, which is a bit small. I kind of want a 2 terabyte in here, but I got a 2 terabyte external drive. But since I have a place now in my own very echoey room, I plan to build a desktop again, and that's going to be awesome. I miss having a desktop so much. But I also got to replace this keyboard. Using the Logitech G710 Plus at the moment, which is ground switches, so it's pretty quiet for a mechanical keyboard. But I mean, I imagine it's still loud through the microphone. In fact, I could turn on monitoring here, and now I could hear my own voice, and that is kind of funky, but it makes it a lot easier to tell if I'm thumping against a microphone or anything like that. So I'll leave that on so I can hear everything. I just rebalance all the audio in post now since I have like game audio, music on a different track than the microphone audio, so it makes it much easier. It's why the audio in my videos has been better lately. It's because now I can just adjust it accordingly, which is so much nicer. Anyways, this is from Natos 92. This is an awesome desert with life, with a lot of craters. In fact, let's land in this crater right here. Isn't there a way to land on the planet, like Control G? Yeah, it's just kind of a nice smooth way to land on the planet, I guess. Okay, that's a very tall volcano. Got what looks like kind of a lake bed, but of course it's a crater. Not seeing erosion. Oh wait. Yeah, no, I'm not really seeing erosion, so I'm not really seeing signs of water on this planet, apart from the fact that we have life. So there has to be some kind of water here, but I'm not seeing the signs of water, I guess you could say. Ooh, some plants covering a bunch of sand dunes. That's a bit bizarre. Let's check these mountains. Okay, I'm seeing a little bit. No, letting it load in. It looks like it could be erosion. It's not just very I mean, yeah, these are very jagged hills. They don't look nice and smooth like the ones on Terra planets do. But I can't imagine rain is a very common thing here, if at all. And I imagine a lot of the water that would be here would be subsurface. Because obviously the desert's not going to generate any lakes and stuff. It just does not do that in this game. Is there any ice? Would that be a good sign? Oh, okay, so we do have ice, which, yeah, does suggest that this is kind of Mars-like and there's possibly water subsurface. And that would probably be where a lot of these plants are getting all their water from. But as you can see, there's life developed on like every section of this planet. But it looks very cool. Is that Andromeda? No, it's a Milky Way. We're next to Andromeda. Okay, so this is one of the small dwarf galaxies that are basically sitting next to Andromeda. So go ahead and get that off the screen, and this might just be our thumbnail for this video. I really like this view. Now the cool thing is, since this is a 1080p video, I'll have no problem cutting this out and cropping it and throwing it into Photoshop to make into a thumbnail. Because I was having that issue before with the 720p ones, and all the thumbnails have been stretched and stuff, and that's been terrible. So, small victories. Anyways, let's see. We have another suggestion from NATO's92. It is a really pretty Terra with rings. I'll go ahead and paste this in. Here we go. Same galaxy. And if my voice has changed a little bit in like the past 5 minutes, it's because I have really been needing to sneeze, but I can't sneeze, and this is the worst feeling ever. This sucks. God help me. Okay, there's our shadows. I'm seeing 2 shadows there, which suggests there's possibly 2 stars. Let's go and fly over here. I'm seeing 2 sets of lens flares. That's a promising sign of 2 stars. Smack right into this volcano here. Bonk. Ooh, this one's active. You can see the molten rock in here. Very cool. And we'll just touch down right here. And get a nice zoom in to see our 2 stars. Red dwarf and orange dwarf orbiting around each other in very close proximity, it looks like. Very cool. And what type of planet was this again? This is a Terra with a bunch of nasty craters. Okay, let's see. Yeah, these are in very close proximity, so I imagine these stars would be kind of warped looking or something. They would be pulling on each other quite hard. Oh! Thank you, Heinrich Mittner, for mentioning this. Because I have not made a video on this, and I might still make a video on this. I have passed 12,000 subscribers. Man, what? I've been telling myself for like the past 3 weeks. Mention that in your video, intro your video like that, but I keep forgetting about it. But yes, I'm past 12,000 subscribers, and thank you guys for that. Last year was the slowest year of growth for my channel because things were bad, and I couldn't do things, and I couldn't get videos up, and things were just horrible in my life, and blah blah blah. But we were here. We were past 12,000 subscribers, and I appreciate that. I don't know what more there really is to say on that, other than I think I owe it to you guys to try to upload a lot more. And I'm still working 5 days a week, and I don't really get much time to record. Especially over the course of the next month, because I'm still in the process of moving in and buying stuff to move in and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, like I need a dresser and a bed and a less empty, echoey room and more foam on the walls and crap like that, to be able to record a little bit more professionally, because this echo is insane. But thank you guys for getting me up to 12,000 subscribers, and I do hope to return the favor in some way via more content on the channel. Anyways, let's go ahead and move on to the last suggestion, which is from Potatoes Recycling Bin. This is an unbelievably bright planet. What is your profile picture? It's just a potato with an arm and 2 legs, I think. Oh, it's potatoes. Like, I don't even. Why is it so bright? Can't put my finger on it. Anyway, wow, what the hell's going on here? Oh, it's got reflection from this planet onto the. Okay. Yeah, this is very bright. What more is there to say? I don't know why it's so bright, but it is. Like, even that moon's super bright, and it's reflecting and making this look like daytime. Like, there's the freaking sun right there. But yeah, I don't know. So yeah, this is a very bright planet. I don't know what more there is to say about that. What's its orbital period? 4.7 days. Okay, so that's relatively fast. Yeah. Oh, this is an unusually bright planet for reasons I can't seem to determine. But let's go ahead and move on to your next suggestion real quick. And also look at this. Amazing, isn't it? I have no idea what I'm about to walk into, but we'll just go ahead and paste this in, remove this question mark, and here we go. An orange dwarf, binary. It's Milky Way. It looks pretty Milky Way-like to me. This is not an Andromeda, I don't think. Milky Way, okay. Let's fly towards this. Excuse me? I said let's fly towards this. Okay, I'm in the exact very center of these 2 stars. What is amazing about this? Cool gas giant. Orange dwarf. Tidally locked. Very hot star. Or planet. I'm failing to see what's amazing about your suggestion here. Am I completely overlooking something? If I am, do let me know down in the comments below, because I am confused. Let's see. I don't know what exactly you want me to see here. This looks kind of cool. Got a totally locked storm and some really cool like purple, orange, and kind of a nice cobalt blue here. Let's go and touch down right here next to this volcano. And see if we could just get a nice good 1080p screenshot of this view. I like the fog that's kind of riding up right there. Let's just... keyboard, calm down. My S key likes to stick on this thing. This is a keyboard I've just had sitting around for ages. There we go. Really nice view of this planet's atmosphere. And this is also where I think I'm going to leave the video off. If you guys enjoyed the video, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, and click that bell icon because YouTube's notifications suck. And hopefully... I will see you guys in the next video with less echo. Like, what happens if I just audio test. I'm gonna back up like 5 feet here, and this is what I sound like now. I just sound like I'm in an echo chamber, and it's just horrible. Anyways, see you guys.